All right, let's do another video. This time we're gonna do 5 more Bronze Age comics that are undervalued. It's my opinion. A couple of these probably showing up on other people's lists, maybe a while ago, maybe not so much, but a lot of these books of the ones that have shown up, they're in that cool off mode, and people aren't too worried about them. That's when we want to buy them, right? We want to buy them when people are paying attention to them, when they're not a hot comic yet, right? We want to have that in our collection. Then when they get hot, we'll be like, yeah, got my copy already. Anyway, let's start with, here we are, Omega Man number 3. So, Omega Man number 3 is the first appearance of Lobo. Lobo is a popular DC sort of anti-hero. Uh, he's kind of like a combination between Deadpool, Wolverine kind of personality character. Definitely doesn't have their powers and stuff though. But when I'm thinking about this comic, and I'm thinking about the huge success that Deadpool had, and DC's talking about revamping everything they're doing and trying to get their properties, profitable. Um, they're gonna look over at Marvel and say, "Hey, man, look at this Deadpool movie. Uh, Characters gone through the roof. Millions and millions of dollars in profit. All this stuff. They're gonna be looking for their own Deadpool-esque character, and good chance that's gonna be Lobo." Lobo, he still breaks that fourth wall. He's got the kind of, you know, snarky personality. He's just that, you know, really he was a character that's could really be DC's Deadpool. So you can still get this comic online, $30 maybe. Super nice copies all over the place though. Like, don't take anything that isn't really, really nice copy. Um, had something that they printed on called a Baxter paper. This paper is a little bit nicer than everything, or than the newsprint kind of comics that were at the time. So you get really nice white pages with this comic. Lots of people took care of it. Don't believe it was available at all on newsstands. You had to go to a specialty shop and grab it. So a lot of collectors did pick it up, put it in their bag, put it in a bag and board, and collect it. So there's lots of really nice copies. But if Lobo ever does show up in a movie or any kind of thing like a TV show or whatever, this comic is going to be the DC equivalent of New Mutants 98. So good one to still grab up. I mean, again, with all of these comics, there's a little bit of risk we're taking, but none of these comics are going to break the bank. If you were like, okay, gonna buy this comic, gonna spend $25, get a nice copy, nothing ever happens to it. It's not gonna lose any more value, and you only spent $25, so it's not like you broke the bank and got, and hung all your comic book hopes and dreams on this one issue to turn into $1 million issue, which it never will, of course, but it's $25. Take the risk. If it does hit, maybe it's worth 200 one day. There you go. Maybe not. If not, you still got a great first appearance of a really cool character, Lobo. All right. Giant Size Defenders number 3. So, Giant Size Defenders number 3, 1975. First Korvac. Korvac was a villain that wasn't, too big in this issue. It was kind of just for this issue, but ended up being picked up by Jim Starlin and Len Wein, and really fleshed out a lot more. Um, Korvac's like a man that kind of got turned into a man cyborg computer thing. He's able to absorb all the energies and do computer, analysis of beings and take their powers. He does the computer analysis of Galactus and gets the power cosmic and all kinds of great things like that. He became a big villain for the Avengers. Big villain originally for Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor. So now you have a character. Yeah, so yeah, in Guardians of the Galaxy second appearance, they used him. Korvac as the villain for Guardians of the Galaxy, trying to set him up as a big Guardians of the Galaxy villain. He ended up being picked up and taken more as a Avengers villain. There's the big Korvac saga, which was about 11 issues of the Avengers and some other ones put in there. Um, so major villain for the Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor. So you're hitting on a movie villain that's already touched on three big Marvel movie properties. Um, they're going to switch up whatever's happening in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Will Korvac ever show up there? I don't know. Will Korvac be the Phase 4 Marvel villain? I don't know. It's possible. Possible. I'm not saying that it's true. I don't have any proof of any of that. Um, could be, right? What if he is, right? You can get this copy of this book for $20, even less, really, in half decent shape. It's a square bound book, so, be careful of the side of the book, make sure it's not all crushed. Especially down here. When you get a square bound book, always check way down here in your book. The bag tends to taper down. So when people shove their comic into the book, square bound comic into a regular comic bag, they shove it down, then they shove it inside their collection, squeeze it in there super tight, and that taper at the bottom tends to crush the bottom inch of a square bound book. Personally, when I collect a square bound book, I take it, hopefully it hasn't been crushed. I put it, a Silver Age book or a Bronze Age book, in a Golden Age bag and board, because, or a Golden Age bag with a Silver Age board, so that there's a little more room in the bag so it doesn't crush the bottom of my square bound book. And always, always, always leave room inside your comic boxes. Don't squeeze them in so tight. That's what causes spine roll and all kinds of other damage. You'll get a big crease all along here from being in there too tight. Right, don't damage your comics through storage. Be careful of those square bound books. However, Korvac, again, you can spend $20, $25 on this book, get a decent copy. If nothing ever happens with Korvac, I don't think this book would lose too much value after the $20. Again, you got a great first appearance of a really cool Avengers slash Guardians of the Galaxy villain. Yeah, so first appearance of Korvac. And here I've got the Micronauts #1. Really undervalued. Again, Micronauts went for a pretty good run. A couple of different volumes of the Micronauts. All new kinds. The Micronauts are coming back. So Micronauts, like, if I'm wondering, are the Micronauts going to show up in a movie? I mean, here we've got Ant-Man going down into the quantum realm. Um, Everybody that took him down there, Hank Pym and the Wasp and everybody, disappeared. Nobody knows he's down there. Nobody to run the machine on the upside. Trapped in the quantum realm. Well, where's it gonna show up for help? Right? Who's gonna get him out of there? Micronauts? Maybe the Micronauts. They're real hush hush about what's happening. They keep talking about being more cosmic, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be big in space. They might go small in, the quantum universe, or the microverse, is what they call it in the comic books. Again, you've got the first appearance of some really cool characters: Baron Karza, Octarius Ran, a Croyer, Bug. These superheroes for the Micronauts. This is all their first appearance. Baron Karza, of course, is the big villain. Yeah, good copy, or find good copies of this comic. shouldn't be paying any more than $10, $15 for it maximum, right? So again, we're not putting a lot of money out there because we're taking a risk. Not betting my kids, college fund on any kind of book like this. But what happens if it is? What happens if all we get is just a after credits trailer, something with the Micronauts in it, right? I mean, there's more ties back to the Micronauts, the Prometheus pit. If anybody remembers Carnage disappearing through the Prometheus pit into the microverse, right? That all ties in with the Micronauts, which ties in with Carnage, which we know is being a movie. It also ties in with, um, you know, there's a sort of a storyline where they save Jan Van Dyke, who's the Wasp in the comic books, all through the Micronauts. So there's ties back to the movie, which kind of makes sense that if they want to do something in Ant-Man 3 or a little thing in Avengers 4 or whatever to help uh, Ant-Man get out of the microverse or the quantum realm as they call it in the movies. It's not a far stretch to see that the Micronauts might be in there as a surprise. You might get just a little sort of Howard the Duck kind of clip at the end of one of the credit scenes. Either way, this comic will take a jump. If not, again, I've got a great 70s Bronze Age #1. Lots of first appearances in it. Not a bad book to have in my collection, movie or not. Which is also why I want to put in Micronauts #8, the first appearance of Captain Universe. So Captain Universe is not just a dude, he's more of a power that enters people, takes them over, and makes them into Captain Universe. I know he's like possessed Spider-Man and Doctor Strange at times. He's been females. There was a small run of Marvel Spotlight that had Captain Universe as its main character. Um, if Captain Universe shows up in, if they do, or sorry, not Captain Universe, if the Microverse and the Micronauts show up in any MCU movie, it's not a far stretch for Captain Universe to be part of that. Captain Universe is the person that sealed up the Prometheus pit, fought Baron Karza to do it, kept the portal between the Microverse and Earth so that Baron Karza couldn't come and destroy the Earth. Captain Universe kind of shows up when he's needed, when the Earth or the universe is in grave danger. Really cool character. I like the idea of it. I think you could get a few better stories behind him. Probably why it wasn't more popular than he is. However, again, not a far stretch. If the Micronauts show up, if they have a whole thing revolving around the microverse, if they want to put in more cosmic stuff, which, they can emulate by going small and having that, universe that looks like space, but it's actually all inside the molecule, a molecule in someone's finger kind of thing. Captain Universe, not a bad choice to pick up. I bought this particular issue, and I know that I bought this maybe, a month ago. Found it, comic sale. Guys were having big comic sale, buck a piece. Rifling through there, got this copy. Real decent copy, especially if you think I only paid $1 for it. So again, if nothing ever happens with Captain Universe, if Micronauts #8 here never, goes up in value, my investment into it is $1. So well worth the risk there, because you never know. Book like this could have a small appearance, hit, and, all of a sudden be worth 20, $30. I put in $1. And my last one, we will go with Moon Knight. Get that. Moon Knight 25. First appearance of the Black Specter, November 1982. So yeah, a lot of these comics, they're kind of just skirting into the last little bit of the Bronze Age, like this guy here. Like Omega Man. Omega Man was a 1983 comic. Still inside the Bronze Age. Bronze Age starts in 1984, remember? So this guy too, 1982, not too far out of the end of the Bronze Age. There's all kinds of talk all the time about Moon Knight being a property that the MCU might develop. Makes sense. Real easy property to do. Wouldn't be super expensive. More likely to have a television show than he is a big MCU movie. You know, a la Netflix kind of thing, or Disney's going to start putting out their own subscription service, right? So I don't know how many new properties you're going to see on Netflix. I know they just recently they canceled Iron Man and canceled Luke Cage, so those will be two properties that'll go right back to Disney, right away. Um, yeah, don't see this guy getting like a big theatrical release movie, or Moon Knight getting a big theatrical release movie. However, really popular character, you know, Marvel's Batman-esque sort of guy, kind of a rich, crazy guy that goes around beating up criminals. Um, this is the first appearance of Black Specter. Black Specter is part of the antithesis of Moon Knight, the opposite, right? Um, Still onto the whole Egyptian powers and whatnot and stuff, but on the side of bad, right? Using wants to always kill Moon Knight. It's definitely a major Moon Knight villain. If there is any kind of property developed with Moon Knight that hits, first appearance of Moon Knight, as we all know, is Werewolf by Night 32. I personally don't have $1,000 to drop on a very good book or whatever it's going to cost. You know, very fine or near mint books of Werewolf by Night 32. You know, is quite out of my pocketbook range. Um, Not really interested in collecting a really bad copy of it. I think it's that Werewolf by Night 32 would be an overvalued comic. Um, However, it's still popular, and like I've always said, comics are only worth as much as somebody's willing to pay for them, right? So if somebody's willing to pay $1,500 for a Werewolf by Night 32, more power to them. It's their collection, it's their money. However, this is not a bad pick if you want to get a character that would be involved with the property, because if they're going to have any kind of Moon Knight property, chances are the Black Spectre will be his villain, right? So getting his villain appearance, cheap book, probably paid $20 for this one. I have a couple more copies. I know I have one that's has a really much nicer black color. I think this one has a little bit of fading along here. However, good comic to pick up. Try and go for a high grade one. There's lots of high grade ones out there still for cheap. You don't have to get a banged up copy of this by any sense. That's going to and it's not going to break the bank. If he suddenly shows up in a television show, boom, this comic book's going to double, triple in cost. People are going to go all out for it. Again, picking up a high grade copy now, pretty easy. Watch just like this, that black cover. If it's been in a pile for a while, even if it's been in a comic book board and bag and been rubbed around for a while, really fade out that black real quick. Right, so black cover is hard to get really nice mint copies of. This one too, so, but not impossible. Not a lot of people still realize the potential of this comic. It's way under the radar. Most people haven't heard of Moon Knight's villain, the Black Spectre. But I mean, most people hadn't heard of Bushmaster or the Purple Man and stuff like that out of other Netflix properties. And then if you look at like cost of Daredevil #4, just how much that issue popped up because that's the first appearance of the Purple Man, and Jessica Jones was such a popular installment on those Marvel properties that Netflix is doing. This guy has the potential to be there too. Anyway, my video is coming up on the 20-minute mark, so I've been rambling. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'm going to try and put up some more videos, try and hopefully get one a week up. I can't always promise, I'm a busy dude. But good luck out there. Keep looking for those comics. I'm going to help you out. Okay, have a good day, guys.